All right, y'all. Bitcoin is pumping right now, live, baby. We're pumping. God bless everybody. In Jesus' name, in the name of Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah, our God. I do pray everyone is super blessed, you and your families, on this wonderful Sunday afternoon as the Bitcoin price is pumping like a wild woman in distress, running through the wilderness with a laundry basket on her head, looking just like Janet Yellen. As in fact, you can see right now that the Bitcoin price is once again testing the very, very, very important level of around 91,000. Man, this is crazy, guys. What is going to happen now? Well, we're going to be breaking it down for you. Hey, we're going to tell you everything you want to know right now. All right, I know why you're on YouTube, to get the exact answer of what's going to happen to Bitcoin in the future. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. All right, so make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all those kinds of things. All right. Man, look at this pump. It's happening right now. Look at this pump, man. I can't even believe it. Wow, we are pumping, baby. We are pumping, baby. Man, we got to pull some fibs, man. When in doubt, pull it out. Let's pull the fib from the high to the low. And we are coming up to the next golden pocket. I don't even know if you can spot it, but we are coming up to the next golden pocket. I don't even know if you can spot it. And we're going to actually pull a little fixed range volume profile here. Man, we are coming up to the next golden pocket. I don't know if y'all can spot it, but we're going to put our white box of hope and wonder right here. This, of course, the white box of hope and wonder is going to be the resistance that we have right now for Bitcoin. Man, this is looking pretty crazy. And we got to shout everybody out in the chat. Before we do, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. All right, I'm currently trading on KCEX, BLOFIN, WEEX, and ZOOMEX. All right, links in the pinned comment description. Also, the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I think our Black Friday sale's over. I think it might be still going, actually. So if you're interested in joining the community, I think we still got some Black Friday sales right now. All right, pretty cool. Check it out. All right, guys. So what is the deal? Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is pumping. We're in a few long trades right now on Bitcoin, baby. All right, and obviously still in the short trade as well, from the exact top setup given in advance and taken in real time in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. We're going to be talking specifically today about what is happening right now. Shout out to Timothy Proctor 6190. It's pump song time, baby. Shout out to Doc the Goat. He says, up only. Why ever effing short? There's no corrections. Money printer forever. Brr, baby. Assets only go up. I effing hate the world we're in right now. Interesting comment. Shout out to Afromond. He says pump song. Shout out to Pratik. Sunday pump equals Monday dump. Hulk JB Hulk smash. Bitcoin will do this with a little arrow. Go up and to the right. Shout out to Thomas Chow. S4G all-time high for God's B day. Oh, I get what you're saying. You're saying we're gonna have an all-time high before December 25th. That's an interesting thought. Shout out to Seth Harvey. God bless you, Seth Harvey. Am I wearing a hoodie? Crypto winter? Yeah. It is crypto winter, and I'm cold today, man. I am cold. Shout out to BH Bahar Ath Kumar. Bless me, man, and bless you. Well, may the Lord bless you, my friend. May the Lord bless you. Shout out to Machu Picchu. What is going on, man? It's been a long time no see up in here. Shout out to Grizzly Soul, who says, God bless Jay. God bless you. Shout out to Moonshine. And shout out to Lucky, who says 94 is going to be broken. I think so. I think we can hit 96K. I mean, we'll talk about this giant bear flag that we're in anyway. Shout out to Seth Harvey once again. Feels good to pump again, baby. Missed what? We go to all-time high from here. Well, guys, relax. It's a Sunday pump. Okay. Jay Schlong says, be careful, late longers. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Quick little PSA here, guys. I mean, honestly, we just in the last 1 hour I mean, it's a Sunday. It's a weekend. We've just seen a move up of about 4% on the weekend. All right. Just always be careful. We're coming up to resistance here. All right. Never the best idea to long Bitcoin after a 4% pump. Sometimes it works. But just be careful. It is a weekend here, guys, all right? How do I get the entries? How did I get this entry? Well, I'll tell you how I got this entry. On Friday, we were in a short trade. If you guys remember the short trade I was in on Friday, got stopped out, and I said, I will short again if we come and take the highs, which we eventually did. All right, we eventually did take these highs, but our target on Friday, if you remember, was coming down to the Fibonacci golden pocket. Okay, so we came down to the Fibonacci golden pocket and we dipped right into it. And when I saw the dip into the Fibonacci golden pocket and I saw a little bit of a bounce, I said, you know what? Screw it, man. I was in the gym. I was doing incline bench press, 30-degree incline, flat back, 185 pounds. I think I got 11 clean reps, all right, which for me is really good, actually. 185 for 11 clean reps, all the way down to the chest, all the way up. And after the set, I get the alert, and in the pump and the adrenaline, I said, you know what? I'm going to go for the dang long trade. I didn't even look at Market Cipher, to be honest with you. I just had a feeling that after taking out the low from Friday into the golden pocket, we were going to have to get some kind of a bounce. You can't just CDW on a Sunday into a golden pocket and not expect some kind of a bounce, all right? And I did so I ended up taking a short trade early on Friday. If you guys remember, on Friday, I said, I'm going to short if we come up again. I got stopped out of that first short here for the $400 profit. I ended up shorting early on Friday. Or was it? Yeah, it was Friday because I don't trade on Saturday, I think. Or maybe it was on Saturday. You know what? I don't remember. To be totally honest with you guys, my life for the past week has been a complete cluster of... I don't even know what's going on, all right? It's been the most chaotic week of my life. So, I did take the short. I shorted early, got stopped out in a loss. And then when we came down to the golden pocket, I said, let me take a dang long. So that's how I got into the entry. All right. That seems reasonable. I mean, it does seem reasonable. I mean, it is a Sunday, right? It's a Sunday. Sundays are the days for kind of trades like that. And honestly, it is it is a good risk to reward. It's a really good risk to reward trade setup as well. You know, we're basically looking for this sideways range here. At the time, I didn't think we were going to get such a big pump. But in general, you're looking at something like this, right? That's like a 7-to-1 risk-reward ratio. If we come back to the top of the range, you get a really nice TP1 after like a 1.5% move. Like, honestly, your TP1 coming back into like the middle of the range here. This is a good Sunday scalp, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's a good Sunday scalp. How could Jesus be born in the winter when there was ripe palm dates? Simple. He wasn't born in the winter. Anyone who thinks he is kind of a little bit, I don't know, crazy. But the reason why people say he was born in the winter, it goes all the way back to a very ancient Jewish practice or belief of thinking that somebody died on the same day that they were conceived. And so if you do the math, if he died on Passover, the 14th of Nisan, around the year 33, or I'm sorry, around the year 30, and you count backwards 9 months from there, how do you do the math? The day he was conceived. I always get confused about this, but you end up around the winter. That's how they got that date, all right? But I don't think anybody actually believes that he was born on that day. I think it's just the traditional day. Yeah, he was probably born in around the fall. My personal theory is he was probably born on the first day of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, and was circumcised on Shemini Atzeret, or the 8th great day. That's my personal view. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Alright. Now we're coming up to the first area of resistance. Let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index right now. Alright, let's take a look at the good old F and GI. Wow, we're in extreme fear. We're in extreme fear. We're more fearful today than we were yesterday, which is quite interesting. Alright, so in the news, guys, and I don't pay much attention to the news, but it's always good to keep your eyes on the news. I like this picture here, this nice AI bull and bear thing. Alright, Bitcoin price watch. Bulls stall below 90K while bears lick their chops. Now, at the making of this video, we are above $90,000. And basically, the people on this article are saying, if Bitcoin can reclaim the psychological level of $90,000, then we're probably going to see some more relief. That's what this article says. All right. Basically, this article is saying there's a big showdown. Who would have guessed it? The Bitcoin price, after getting a major dump, is forming a range. A big old showdown. You can see here on the right, the bulls, looking very muscular, I must say. On the left, the bears, looking ferocious, I also must say. And essentially, this article is saying if we can't hold 90K, we're going to come much lower. If we can reclaim 90K, we're probably going to come much higher, because 90,000 is such a psychological level, and indeed it is, because it's the first $10,000 level below $100,000. So that's basically what this article is saying. This is the big news story for today, which isn't really that big, right? At the making of this video, guys, we are currently holding above 90,000 US dollars right now. Other things to keep in mind, guys: Microstrategy, as we know, possible Morgan Stanley index removal threatening billions of outflows. We've been following this for a little while. We've been following Microstrategy, saying perhaps in the next year or so, the company itself, Microstrategy, could be a catalyst for some major volatility in the market. And basically, if you're unaware, Microstrategy is under review by the Morgan Stanley Index, which basically is evaluating whether companies that hold cryptocurrency as their main business model should be traded as part of the index. An index is basically, it's like the S&P 500, where if you are investing in the S&P 500, you are investing in many companies all on one index. Right? So it's a way to protect your investments. Instead of investing in individual stocks, you're investing in an index that has many different stocks all included. So if one does bad and the others do good, well, you know, it kind of like increases your chances of doing well in the market. So right now, MicroStrategy is listed on some indexes, but now they're under review. Should we even stay? Well, MicroStrategy is not thinking this, but the indexes are, should we keep companies like this that aren't actually a traditional company providing like a GDP, but more so just holding crypto? Should they even be on our index? And a decision is expected by the middle of January 15th, 2026. If MicroStrategy is removed, it could have a negative impact. We could see other indexes remove strategy, right? And we could potentially, according to this article, see forced selling up to $8.8 billion of passive fund outflows could happen immediately. This would cause the MicroStrategy stock to plummet. Now, What's so important about this, guys, is if we see the stock start to plummet, and if the Bitcoin price is under $74,000, those are the two things that would actually force MicroStrategy to start selling their Bitcoin. In fact, they have made it apparent in the last few weeks that selling is an option now. In the past, buy only. Now selling is an option. They're already creating some cash reserves to kind of hedge against the major dump because they're concerned about the bearishness of the market. But yeah, also, if Bitcoin is below $74,000, their total Bitcoin position is going to be in the red. And if the stock continues to plummet, they might be forced to sell Bitcoin just to stay afloat. This is something to be very aware of as we're heading into, historically, a time of what's been known as a bear market, okay? So that's pretty much what's happening in the news. Let's go to Bitcoin now and take a look at what's happening here. The Bitcoin price, we are going to close a weekly candle in about 5 hours. If we take a look here at the chart, you can see that we are flirting with, making eyes with this very important orange line, man. We have been looking at this ever since we lost it back on the 17th of November, or the week of the 17th of November, saying that we are in oversold territory. This orange line at 90,500, this is officially undervalued Bitcoin. At least historically for the last year, it's been considered undervalued Bitcoin. If we can close the weekly candle above the level, which we could not do the first week, we could not do the second week, but we might do in 5 hours, this actually is our first major sign of strength, which makes me think $96,000 is very probable for Bitcoin. Now, we've been looking at our weekly oscillator, saying this thing is very oversold. We have a momentum wave right now at negative 67, which we have not seen it this low, literally, since the bottom of the bear market in July 2022. When this does confirm a green dot, it's going to give us some kind of relief. When we start going down to the 5-day time frame, we have confirmed hidden bullish divergences on our 5-day. Our 4-day has confirmed hidden bullish divergence. Our 3-day has confirmed hidden bullish divergence. Our 2-day has confirmed hidden bullish divergence here. Our 1-day does not have hidden bullish divergence. However, it does have an oversold bottom. And when we come down to our 4-hour, as we did make this bottom here, we do see some regular bullish divergence. And so, you can see that it really is a fight here, because we are having these lower time frames start to flip bullish. They're giving us bottom signals here as the price action is struggling to reclaim on the higher time frames this important level. And you can see we came above. Last week we held above for a while, and then Bart Simpson, right? And then we bounced from none other than the Fibonacci golden pocket, right? Right here, Fibonacci golden pocket, inverse Bart all the way up. And then we start to Bart. Last Friday, we started the Bart. You ever start to Bart? Start to Bart. And what do we do again? It's very interesting, but we are currently now as well bouncing from the Fibonacci golden pocket. Ooh, no way. A front run on Bybit? Wow. My goodness, guys. We front ran. Okay, so this really, this is very intense. This makes me think the low is not in here. I'll just be honest. You don't front run a golden pocket like this and not expect for a bam. I'll move back down. Yeah, this is not a good sign, guys. This is not a good sign. The front run of the golden pocket is usually not a good sign at all. Okay? But nonetheless, I would say this. You know, we are forming in this range here. We are forming what I would consider to be a bear flag. Honestly, guys, this is a bear flag. Now, bear flags don't necessarily always break down. We need to see, I'd say, the weekly candle above $90,000. And here's the thing also. We have been running into, and let's clear off the whole chart and just kind of zoom out and recognize the fact that going all the way back now to last year, where in the beginning of 2025, the end of 2024, the current level we're at right now as our resistance was major support in 2024, flipped into resistance in the spring of 2025, flipped back into support in the late spring of 2025, and now this is our resistance again. And you can see we hit it once, twice, 3 times. It's very obvious, guys, right now that if we can get something like this, instead of the rejection that we've had all these times, if we can get a breakout and a hold, that we're going to get a larger move to the upside. Because not only are we back inside the range, right, which is that orange line going all the way back to last year. Not only are we inside this orange line, but we're also above a major support resistance flip that can be seen going all the way back, you know, to November 2024, which means that the probabilities are we're going to see some higher Bitcoin price action, because if we're holding above that level, that's going to be around 93.5. We're probably going to see that weekly time frame finally give us the green dot. And the green dots on Market Cypher B weekly, they do not disappoint. All right, they do not disappoint. You can go back and look at pretty much every single green dot that's clearly oversold below the zero line. I mean, really, you can go back to the Bitcoin all-time index and bull or bear market, go and look at every oversold weekly green dot, and they do not disappoint, guys. All right, even in the heat of the bear market, right? Let's assume we are heading into a bear market right now. Remember, the first green dot we got on the weekly in the bear market last time resulted in a move to the upside of about 46%. The time after that, the green dot resulted in a move of about 43%. All right, the time after that, the green dot resulted in the bottom of the bear market. All right, and then of course the bull market green dots are the big continuation patterns. Now, obviously there is a chance here right now, baby, that the bull market does continue. However, I am personally in the camp that the bull market is over and we need to have a few months of sideways and down based primarily on our 2-month bearish divergence and the monthly Market Cypher B being below the 60 line. Okay, so historically, the 2-month bearish divergence on Market Cypher B means the top is in. All right, even if we chop around for months, which we did last cycle, right? We had the confirmation of the bearish divergence here. We chopped around for about 245 days before the real drop happened. All right, once again, over here in 2018, we confirmed the divergence. We chop around basically sideways in a range for about 180 days before the big drop happens. And so right now, yeah, I'm not saying we're going to go straight down, but for me, I don't think we have the power right now to keep going up like we've been going up, right? And then the second sign for me is the monthly Market Cypher B. You know, historically, whenever we get that move where the momentum is below the 60 line, which happened over here in June of 2018, that's really when the top is in, okay? It happened once again over here in January of 2022, and it has happened now once again here in November 2025. Market Cypher B momentum below the 60 line, 2-month bear divergence confirmed. So I'm leaning in the camp of this weekly hidden bull div here is going to give us a significant pump, but I don't think we're going to break out of this range here. All right, I don't think we're going to break out of the range right now. I think it's going to happen later. And I think that the end of 2026 is when we're going to start to flip bullish again. But I think the first half of 2026, we need to wait it out a little bit. I think we need to wait it out. I think we need to be patient. I think we need to expect sideways and down simply because of the high time frames. But locally here, I am expecting potentially a move all the way back up to around the highs of this range here, which is going to be, you know, 114, 115K before another drop. And that drop, who knows? Who knows? It might take us literally all the way back down to, I don't know, the target of the short trade, which we have here, as you can see, if we go to the weekly time frame here over on KCEX, our target is just a meager $10,350.10, okay? Now, am I joking about this? Of course, you guys know the answer to that. Everyone knows the answer to that, all right? But seriously, I do think that we are going to see Bitcoin below 70,000. At least. That's just my personal view. All right, so we've got our 2-month, we've got our weekly. Let's take a look at our daily candle here. Again, we do want to close the daily candle above the orange line, which it looks like we very well may today, but the one caution that I do have here, guys, is the fact that we did front run that Fibonacci golden pocket. So let's go ahead and pull the range here once again. We are at the POC. We are at a pretty crucial level here. Man, we are at a pretty crucial level. But nonetheless, Bitcoin is still pumping locally here. And we are coming up, like as we speak, to the Fibonacci golden pocket. Are we tapping in? No, we're front running the golden pocket. At least we are on weeks here. Let's take a quick look at order flow. Let's see how this move happened, like according to the good old OF here. The good old OF. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so very interesting. This is the 1 minute. Let's go to the 15 minute. I just kind of want to zoom out and take a look at the range here. Come on, market monkey. Here we go. All right, so we have seen, wow. Okay, so we have actually seen a couple million longs opening here. We've seen about 3, 4, 5, 6 million longs open, which is why we're getting moved to the upside. This initiated with a short squeeze here. Basically, you can see we had quite a few. Wow. So look at this. We had a bunch of longs open up here. This is crazy. This is how the market wrecks everybody. We had about 5 million longs open up in this green candle here. All right, you can see the net longs open up here. You see the increase of open interest, right? This blue candle coming up here, this is showing us 5 million longs opening up, all right? And then what does the market do? It literally just wrecks them all. It just wrecks them all. They are completely out. They get out of break even, basically. They open up here. You can see that they start to close when we're back at break even. So they held, they're freaking out, they close at break even. And also, not only are we seeing longs closing at break even here, but then we start to see a short squeeze, because after the longs close at break even around their entry, which is right around 89.3, then we start to see a whole bunch of shorts getting wrecked. All right, a whole bunch of shorts getting wrecked. All the shorts that basically have been opening up. Wow. Essentially, all the shorts that have been opened up since Friday are now out. So everybody that shorted here and all throughout this area are now out. And now we're seeing a couple million longs open. So basically this move has been a combination of short squeeze and then some longs opening up primarily in this big breakout candle here. So very interesting. You know, we saw a squeeze, and now we're seeing some money come in here. Now we're coming up to our first major area of resistance, so this is where we do need to start looking for a range, potentially some bearish CVD divergences happening here. And so far, we're not seeing any bearish CVD, but obviously we are running out of steam as we're forming this kind of rising, squeezing pattern on a decrease of open interest, right? We've seen quite a few longs take profit there, right? So a lot of the longs that did open up have now taken profit, and rightfully so. So let's see what happens here. Let's take a look at Market Cypher B on the lower time frames. We're going to take a look at the 12-minute, and I would say this, like, wow, the 12-minute did look pretty nice down there. We had a nice bullish divergence here in the range. We have money flow crossing now from the purple into the blue. Check out the 24-minute. 24-minute looking nice. We have the money flow, pretty much double bottom money flow, but overall in the range we are seeing nice bullish divergence here. Check out the 1 hour. The 1 hour actually looks beautiful here. The bullish divergence looks really nice. The yellow oscillator looks really nice. This actually does look nice for some continuation to the upside. Even the 4 hour here has a local bull div. The only thing I don't like about this, guys, is the fact that it's happening on a weekend, and the fact that we front ran the Fibonacci golden pocket like that just by like a hair. That is not nice. If I had known this, I would not have taken my trade. Honestly, guys. If I had known that, I would not have taken this trade. I thought we hit into that golden pocket there. But really, yeah, I thought we were bouncing from the golden pocket. I must have had it pulled wrong on my chart. Let's check this out here. Look, this is the chart I used to take the trade. When I saw that we were down there, in my golden pocket, I guess it was pulled wrong or something. But to me, we wicked through that thing. We wicked through it. So that's interesting. We're currently above the POC, and we are continuing here to the upside. We are tapping right now into our next major area of resistance. the Fibonacci golden pocket to the upside. If we're going to continue in a downtrend here, right? Like, let's assume we have our high, we have our low, and we're expecting continued downside. This box is going to be our lower high, and then we're going to put in a lower low here. I do feel like it's probable, based on the fact that it's a weekend, man. Based on the fact that it is a weekend, I do feel it's probable that we don't bottom out here. And that Monday or Tuesday we come back down. Now keep in mind, guys, this Wednesday we do have excuse me, the FOMC decision. So there's an 86% chance now that the Jerome Powell is going to cut rates. This is going to cause some volatility. I think the real direction of the market will be determined after Jerome Powell's decision and press conference. I think Bitcoin's really going to make a decision then to determine, all right, because this channel here is going to break. All right, this channel is going to break. It looks bearish, but Bitcoin, you know, can go either way. All right, Bitcoin can go either way. So I think Jerome Powell, after Wednesday, we're going to determine if we actually get a move up and maybe see some targets like, first of all, 102, support resistance flip, back testing the October 10th wick and basically this whole level right here. Or do we see 108, which is going to be our Fibonacci macro golden pocket from the high to the low, right? Between 106 and 108. Or are we going to see 115 value area high? I think that we'll find out after Wednesday. Or if we break down from this bear flag, all right, then what are we looking at? In my opinion, we are looking to take out 74,000 and probably come down to some lower areas that we have on the chart, which are going to be, I don't actually have them turned on right now, and that's okay. But I would say we will be looking down to at least back test the support resistance flip from March 2024, which we front ran in April. If you guys remember, we front ran that in April, and also we're going to pull our fib from the low in August 24 to the high, and we also have our Fibonacci golden pocket down there at around 70K. So yeah, I think that will probably be our next low, potentially all the way down to, dare I say, the 786 is around $59,000. Now the 786 is around $59,000 is also, we're going to go ahead and take this fib here from the, let's go ahead and put this on, let's put it on log, I think. Take it off log, I mean. That's going to be our non-log Fibonacci golden pocket, also right around there. So I think those would be some other targets that we would have coming back down to backtest this range right in here. And I know that seems scary for a lot of people, but we also have to think to ourselves, guys, that is that bad if we are looking at this as major resistance, which it was. It was resistance from April 2021 until September 2024, all right? Let's just say 3 years, this was resistance, all right? Is it bad to break out of a 3-year resistance and then back test it as support? I don't think so, man. I do not think so. I think that's pretty dang juicy. And also, if we take ourselves, let's just also, you know, because the elephant in the room here is the head and shoulder, right? The head and shoulder. The scary berry head and shoulder that we had like over here, right? Before the big breakdown, right? Let's just take a look at what would the target be of this head and shoulder. I'm just curious. I am just curious. Would you look at that? $30,000. Now, what was the target of this head and shoulder? Let's see. Target of this head and shoulder was negative $7,000. That's great. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna hit the target of that, but I do think we could get some more downside coming either to this area here, or my worst case scenario, honestly, for a real bear market is gonna be the macro 786. Just dipping right below 30, dipping right below 40K as like a worst case scenario for me. The reason why I say that is because nobody's expecting that, number one. And when nobody's expecting it, that's how you know it's probably going to happen, right? The reason number two I say that is because once Bitcoin loses this area here, people are going to be really bearish, but they're also going to be looking for a bounce from this consolidation right here. They're going to say, yeah, this is not good, but look, we're in major support right now. So then what happens is we lose the low from August 2024, and then we enter into straight panic mode, right? We're in here, we try and hold this level, and then we lose this, right? We're in straight panic mode, and now people are going to be making for those ultra low predictions, right? People are going to be calling for 30K, they're going to be calling for 25K. They're basically going to be looking at this whole chart here saying, you know what, because this happened last bear market too, right? People, once you lose certain levels that people think we're never going to lose, people start calling for insanely low targets, right? People are going to start calling for this support resistance flip back here maybe at like 25K, right? Remember last cycle, last bear market. It's so funny. All the people thumbs downing this right now, you're the ones that are going to get wrecked, man. Respectfully. The people thumbs downing the preparation for a serious bear market after a 4-year Bitcoin cycle where every single other time in history it's led to a big move down, you guys are going to get wrecked. All right? You guys are going to get wrecked. I'm just being real. Could this time be different? It could be. But should we prepare for it to be the same? Absolutely. Otherwise, we're just being foolish. All right? Once we lose this area, 50K, people are going to start calling for these insanely low targets. And the reason why I like dipping below 40K is because nobody is going to really expect us to stop here, right? They're going to be looking down lower. Once we're losing this, people are going to say, we don't have any support until this, right? And if you guys remember what happened last cycle, right? Last cycle, a lot of people, myself included, were looking at this, right? Saying this is the area where we're most likely to come down to. Guys, losing 30K last cycle was a big psychological level. You know, it was a really big psychological level. And then losing the Fibonacci golden pocket as well. I mean, this was a major psychological bearish thing, right? But look at where we bounced from. All right, look at where we bounced from last time. The 786 Fibonacci. The 786 Fibonacci was the bottom, right? Front running everyone's super bearish target. It's funny, when you know the bullish targets we have up here, these insane targets, $250,000 Bitcoin, you know, the opposite happens in a bear market. The opposite happens. People get this ultra bearish mentality. They're like, man, we're coming lower, 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 lower. Just like in the bull market, higher, 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 higher. So this 786 looks really nice to me. And when we go back in time and we look at the all-time Bitcoin index here, right? Let's go to the 2-month chart. You know, what do we notice about every single bull bear cycle? You know, we always correct and bounce from the dang 786 level, right? Every single time. Every single time. Look at this. Every single time. Look at that. Look at that. Every single time. Look at this. Look at that. Every single time. All right. So could this time be different? Of course. You know. But so far, that's where we're on target. Just dip below 40K to the 786 Fibonacci. Front run everyone's ultra bearish targets. It's interesting. We always front run those ultra bearish targets too. Like even back here in like 2015, we had this beautiful order block right here on the 2-month. We front run it. You know, it's very interesting. But that's my ultimate like bearish scenario here, is coming down to the historic bear market target. But if the 4-year cycle is dead, which a lot of people say it is, and some people say Bitcoin, the bull bear cycle should not be even measured against US dollar, they should be measured against gold. And right now we might have had our bear market already if we're going to measure Bitcoin against gold, right? There's so many different ways to look at the markets here. So why it's important to be prepared for everything, guys, honestly. So we are getting a bit of a pullback from that first tap of the 618 here. It is important to be prepared for everything, guys. Also, make sure, if you want to learn how to do this stuff, check out Jason Casper's YouTube channel. He has a free trading course. Jason Casper has a free trading course, 18 sessions for free on YouTube. We'll teach you how to be prepared for anything, man. That's honestly what you got to do. You got to be prepared for everything. You got to be prepared for everything. All right? Yeah, if the 4-year cycle is broken, the egg code today is this. Rhubarb. All right, here's the egg code. I'm gonna pop it in the chat. All right, I'm gonna pop it in the chat. If the 4-year cycle is dead, I would say a good target to have is gonna be around somewhere in this consolidation. But if the 4-year cycle is alive, I'd say, yeah, we should be looking down lower. All right. So that's my overall outlook on Bitcoin right now. Looks like we have a lot of stirred emotions here. Make sure to smash the likes. Make sure to smash the likes. Yeah, we got some stirred emotions. People don't want Bitcoin to drop. Hopium Copium says, don't be fooled, it's going lower. Every bear market, except one, we had 45% pumps during the bear / gold BTC means bull market never started. Yeah, every bear market we've had 45% pumps. That's why I'm looking for a 45% pump on Bitcoin now, because I do feel like this looks really much to me like a top. All right, so I'm looking for this weekly momentum wave to print a green dot, which is going to pump us like crazy. That's going to be the first opportunity of the bear market to get into a really good short, in my opinion. And if we do get the 45% pump here, that is going to put us back up to around $116,000. You know, so if we're back up here at the top of the range, I am absolutely going to be looking for short trades. Even if we take that high again, I'm going to be looking for short trades. I'm going to be, because I just cannot. I don't think, based on these high time frames, we have enough power right now to continue. But you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's why this ain't no financial advice. I ain't no financial advisor. I'm just a hillbilly here on YouTube walking on the treadmill with a purple backwards hat to the side. All right? You know, if I saw me out in Walmart, I think, what a douchebag. Dude probably voted for Kamala Harris, is literally what I would think if I saw myself out in public. So I'm definitely not a financial advisor. Let's take a quick look at ETH. All right, look at this. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a rejection from that first tap of the Fibonacci golden pocket. Let's check it out on a lower time frame quick, and then we'll take a look at ETH here. We're getting our first 12-minute red dot. Yeah, we're probably going to get a significant retrace from here, in my opinion. At least. We might come down a bit lower. On the weekend, did we front run this on Bybit? No, we did hit this on Bybit. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely, if you are in a long, this is a great place to TP1, not financial advice. All right. But if we're going to continue up, let's go ahead and do some kind of local analysis here. We're going to go ahead and pull our fib from the low to the high. And we'll pull the volume of this. Yeah, so if we're going to continue up here, guys, a move back down to this green box would be where I would actually look to add to the position. But we lose this green box, not good, not good. One more thing I do want to look at actually is the CME. Let's see if we have a CME gap right now. I think we do. 89,425. 89,425 is where the CME futures market closed. Right around here. 89,425. So let's see where that's going to be. 89,425. Right around here. It's going to be our CME gap. Let's quickly again look at our volume and our bibs here. Wow, yeah, look at that, beautiful confirmation there on the CME gap for, in my opinion, a long trade. We got the CME gap, we got the high volume node, we got the 618 Fibonacci. You know, this is definitely a great place if we're going to continue up here to be looking for a freshie or a compound. If we're going to continue up here. Now, the scary thing is, remember, not scary thing, but the important thing here is the main level that we want to be watching is the high time frame level of 90,005, which is going to be this orange line here, right? So this would need to happen, man. I hate that these Sunday closes, man. They have been so weird. Last week's candle close, it's like this was last week's candle close, guys. We could have closed it above the level, but we closed it just below the level, and then we open up with a massive Bart Simpson. So, man, we might have the same thing happen again today. Let's take a look at Ethereum here, guys. Ethereum right now is showing some signs of strength. Okay, ETH is showing some signs of strength here. ETH is showing the potential of short squeeze city, just based on the candles alone. What I mean by that is this. ETH came down and bounced from the zone in the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786, back testing the consolidation that we've had from the spring-summer 2025, right? And now what we're seeing actually, guys, is we have changed market structure locally here on the daily. So we get a bounce, we make a high, we make a higher low. Now we've made a higher high. And potentially now, depending on how this daily candle closes, this could actually be another back test, and it could lead to more upside. All right, definitely need to be cautious here. I'm not telling anybody too long. But also ETH did have a local swing failure pattern, just like Bitcoin did, chickens drinking water pattern. We took out this low. We even took out this low. We did not come down and fill these single prints here, right? We did have these single print. I mean, I'm assuming they're single prints. Actually, we did fill the single prints. Okay, we filled these single prints on the half-hour time frame. Look at this. You can see, yep, look at that. We filled right into the single print here. You can see that on the TPO chart. This is where the single print ends. We wick right into that. We get a nice CDW. We got some nice bullish divergence here on the half hour, the 1 hour. Nice bullish divergence here. Yeah, ETH, remember, also is potentially forming a weekly trigger wave. The 5-day has confirmed a continuation wave after a bullish divergence back in March and April. And so this could, I mean, if we see Bitcoin get relief, guys, I think ETH has the potential, first, of hitting 4,000. But also, I don't see why ETH can't hit a new all-time high here. Because, and hear me out, it's because of the fact that this is just so easily squeezable. All right, it's easy to be squeezy when you're in a descending kind of parabola like this, because we will easily start to stop out shorts and go parabolic. And if we reclaim that $4,000 level, I mean, this will be easily squeezed. I think we could easily see ETH $5,500, even if Bitcoin's not hitting a new all-time high. You know, even if Bitcoin's not hitting all-time highs, I think it's very possible to see ETH come up to those levels. We got some super chats in the house. Shout out to Anthony Lee Crypto. He says, maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you use the magnet tool, we actually slightly dipped into the golden pocket on Bybit. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, Anthony Lee Crypto. Guys, go check out Anthony Lee Crypto on YouTube. All right, Anthony Lee Crypto on YouTube. I'm subscribed to him. I just subscribed to Anthony Lee Crypto. Let's search for him. I don't even know how to spell Anthony. All right, check him out here, Anthony Lee Crypto. All right, he's actually a really good YouTuber. I checked him out, man. All right, plus he's jacked. All right, jacked. Trades crypto. You know, he has 423 subscribers. All right, look, he even did an emergency update 3 hours ago. You know. So yeah, I like Anthony Lee Crypto, man. Anthony Lee Crypto. Thanks for the super chat, my bro. I appreciate it. And also we got Crypto Scarface in the house. He says the U.S. government is planning National Sovereign Wealth Fund. The bull run will be epic before that 70K. So Crypto Scarface 618 thinks we're not going to hit 70K because the U.S. government is planning a National Sovereign Wealth Fund. Well, I guess it's possible, my man. You know, maybe this time really is different. Maybe this time is different. Straight to 140. BBL Hotline says Jason's the first person I've seen that does 50x leverage longs. I mean, leverage really means nothing, man. I mean, look, make sure to check out my trading course. I have a whole section on leverage and why leverage shouldn't really matter. You know, let's see. Let's check out the session about leverage. It might be in the risk management section. I think it's in the risk management section. Yeah, check this one out here. The risk management section where I talk about leverage and stuff like that. Here's the thing about leverage, guys. All right. Leverage doesn't matter as long as your stop loss comes before your liquidation price, right? Which means this. If I'm at 33x leverage right now, in order for the Bitcoin price, in order for me to get liquidated, all right, we're going to have to come down like 3%, all right? In order for me to get liquidated, price is going to have to go against me 3%. Now, when I'm looking at this as a potential trade setup, all right, I'm looking at this as a really good risk to reward right here. I'm looking at this as like a 7-to-1 risk reward, less than a 0.5% stop loss to come back up to the top of the local range, all right? What this means here is my position size is based on me getting out of the trade after it goes against me 0.4%, all right? If I'm going to hold this trade for 3%, all right, do you know what this means? It means I'm risking more on a loss than what I would make on a full take profit at target 1, all right? If you're trading like this, you're dumb. I mean, really, I mean, it's dumb. And so because there's zero risk of liquidation, it really doesn't matter if my leverage is 1x or 30x or 20x or even, dare I say it, 100x. Now, I don't recommend using 100x because slippage and, you know, don't use 100x, please. But if it worked right, because sometimes it'll glitch out. If you're using high leverage, it'll liquidate you early. All right, and in general, the liquidation price is average, right? You got to make sure your stop is way before your liquidation. But my point is this, all right? Let's say that 100x leverage did work right. Price would have to go against me 1% before I get liquidated. So if I have a 0.4% stop loss, even if 100x leverage was being used, it's not riskier than if I was on 1x leverage. The only thing that matters is the position size that I entered into the trade with. Like, how much money am I risking on the trade? Leverage does not increase your risk per trade. Leverage does not increase your risk per trade. Not at all. All right? It does not. So, like, for example, right? Let's just do an example here. If I'm going to crank up my leverage right now to 125x, all right? 125x leverage. I'm going to go ahead and put $1,000 on a trade right now at 125x leverage. All right. Where's the price right now? All right. We're at 91,303. All right. So my stop loss is going to be at 91,200. All right. Sheesh, man. That can't be real. Oh yeah, it's going to risk me $1. All right. $1. 125x leverage. I'm going to go ahead and open that long. All right. Look at this. It's going to risk me $1 on the stop out here. All right, 125x leverage. All right, this is my stop loss right here. If I get stopped out, I lose $1.21. Okay, let's close the trade. All right, let's put the leverage back down to something more normal, 25x. All right, now put $1,000 on the trade. Our stop loss is going to be at 92,000. All right. What do we do? 92.50. 91. Price is dropping, so but still 91. Let's say now 200. All right. 91.150 because price is dropping. We need it to be the same. All right. Now I'm at 25x leverage, and my trade is still going to get stopped out in a $1 loss. The leverage doesn't matter. What matters is how much am I risking on the trade. Either way, I'm putting $1,000 on the trade, right? The position size relative to your stop loss is what matters. $1,000 with 100x leverage is the same as $1,000 with 25, the same as $1,000 with 1x, right? It's the same. So that's why having the trade plan is important, because if you don't have a plan and you don't know where to put your stop loss, well then you don't know where to put your stop loss. So leverage, then you might get liquidated because you don't know where to close the trade, and it becomes a mess. So again, that's why it's so important to check out the free course. All right, it's totally free. Just this one session alone right here, how to use risk management to become profitable. This 90% of traders, if they just did this, they would at least not blow their account. Like at the very least, they would not be blowing their account. You know, like seriously. So just check this out. Check this out. All right, check it out. It's totally free. Ain't got nothing to lose. All right, so we're getting that golden pocket little wick down here. You know what I'm saying? Bear market trading is dangerous. It's the same as a bull market. There's no difference. There's literally no difference between trading in a bull market or a bear market, unless you are going for massive swing long trades in a macro downtrend. But if you're just coming to the chart every day like normal, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. Let's go back to the last bull market and bear market and realize that every single trade that you should be looking to take is based on identifying support and resistance, right? So we had support and resistance right here, right? So if you're looking for shorts at resistance, you would have gotten to a really juicy short trade. And did I take losses on the way down? Yeah, I took losses on the way down. But you have to understand, if you're looking for longs at support and shorts at resistance, what's going to happen is, right, you're going to be taking the trades within the context of these ranges, right? You should be looking for longs in this area. You should be looking for shorts in this area. That means if you have a sideways range to trade, right, and you're coming in here every day, right, you know that you're looking for long trades when the price comes down to this zone here, all right? So you would have gotten a really good long trade here, all right? You know you're looking for shorts when the price comes to this area, all right? You would have had 1, 2, potentially 3 really good short trades here, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 good trades, and let's say you take a long from here, all right? Guess what? You have 4 wins and 1 loss. And you're still short from here, which means you're in a massive, juicy swing short trade that you can hold. Like, for example, like this short trade that I took here, just from the top of the local range, you know, let's say the bear market really is here. Well, now I'm in this juicy short trade that I can keep holding all the way down to whenever we bottom out, right? This trade, like, again, I was simply just saying, well, we're at resistance, time to look for a short. You know, we took a long here also in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. This one didn't hit our target. We never even came back up to resistance, right? But again, the reason why this area right here that we're in now, we should be looking for bounces, is because now we're back in the macro range, the macro sideways range, which is this, right? This is our macro sideways range right here, where when you come down to around this area, we should be looking for longs. When we come up to around this top area, we should be looking for shorts, right? So it's only more dangerous if you think every dip is going to be the big move to a new all-time high, right? In that case, you buy the dip expecting this, it doesn't happen. You buy the dip expecting this, it doesn't happen. You buy the dip expecting this, it doesn't happen, and you're not using good risk management, and you have not planned out your invalidation, so you don't know where to get out if it goes against you. You know, the infamous, should I close it question. If you have to ask, should you close it, you shouldn't even be trading. You should not even be trading if you have to ask that question. You should have already made that decision before you hit buy or sell. You need to ask the question of, should I close it, before you even hit buy or sell. Right? Before you enter any trade, you got to know 3 things. You got to know, number 1, your entry and why, right? Do I have a valid trade right now? And yes, and why? Why? So the first thing you need to know is why you're taking the trade. The second thing you need to know is what's your target? And the third thing you need to know is what is your stop loss? Where do you get out if it goes against you? You got to know all three of those things. Otherwise, you are planning to lose money. If you're not planning these things in advance, you are planning to lose money. Again, I have to say, go check out the risk management video because I'm waxing eloquent here on something that I've explained in 22 minutes on this video in great detail. Yeah, look at this, the three things. The three things, and how to calculate your position size and all that kind of stuff. All right, make sure to check it out. Let's check back to the order flow quickly here. All right, check back quickly to the order flow. Crypto is waiting for a move to 72. I saw he made a new video. Crypto, I feel like me and him, you know, we're both German crypto guys, right? So I gotta watch all his stuff. Actually, I don't even know if I'm German or not. I have no idea. I don't know if I'm German. All right, so we looked at ETH. Let's take a look quick here at Bitcoin dominance. All right, so Bitcoin dominance getting moved to the upside. Not necessarily what we would want to see here for altcoin gains coming. Take a look at total 3. All right, total 3 dominance coming up as well. Let's take a look at USDT dominance. Coming down. This is actually nice. This is looking nice for some gains. I feel like USDT dominance could come back down potentially to the golden pocket here, around 4.6%. And you know, as we look at some of these altcoins like ETH, and we look at the ETH Bitcoin pair, and we look at some of these other pairs against the Bitcoin, Cardano, Solana, even AVAX, they look like we could see some altcoin gains here. A preferred scenario for me would be a Bitcoin getting relief, and some altcoins maybe getting some all-time highs, and then other altcoins just at least getting some relief as well, because we have seen altcoins really beat down. Like, could AVAX hit new all-time high here? Like, man, I don't know. That would be an insane move. If that would be a crazy move. But I mean, I feel like it could happen later in the year. Like, I feel like it could happen later in 2026, 2027. I just don't feel like it could happen within the next few weeks. But anyway, this whole idea here on AVAX, I mean, this is just showing the risk to reward right now on AVAX, which is pretty crazy. If we take it off log scale, I mean, we're forming a giant falling wedge. We haven't seen a real breakout through the bull market. So eventually, I do believe AVAX is a really solid project. Eventually, I do think we can break out and hit all-time highs. The risk to reward is incredible here. Even if, I mean, this is assuming right now that AVAX gets to move all the way back down to $6. It's still 16 times more reward than risk. And assuming we come up to, like, let's say we come up to like a $200 AVAX here. Now we're talking like 20 times more upside than downside. And that's a very conservative target in my opinion. But what the heck do I know? What in the heck do I know? My channel has good commercials. Do you think I'm Irish? What do you guys think I am? I don't know what I am. I have no idea what I am. Well, that's not true. I know some things, but I don't think anybody really knows what they are. Honestly. I've known people who got their DNA tested, and they were not what they thought they were. And I've known diehard people that said, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. That was their identity their whole life. They get their dang 23andMe, if that's even real. Shout Shout out to BBL Hotline who says non-bread enjoyer, multi-dimensional vortex, worshipful Brazilian butt lift technologist. Are you really a Brazilian butt lift doctor? Is that true? You actually perform the Brazilian butt lifts? How does that work, man? Like, honestly, do you like do you put silicone in there? I don't know how Brazilian butt lifts work. I don't know how that works. You know, nothing can beat squats and deadlifts. Honestly, nothing can beat squats and deadlifts. Squats and deadlifts. Maybe I'm French. Bonjour, bonjour, mi amigo. History is a lie, so it's hard to know. I mean, humanity is so mixed. Yeah. Humanity is very mixed, right? Let's pull up this Bitcoin chart here. We're starting to get our first purple hourly candle. Let's see how this hourly candle closes here on Bitcoin, guys. You know, let's see how this hourly candle closes. Yeah, John Ploney, I feel you about AVAX, man. I know it's been real bearish, but like, I do feel it has a lot of potential, bro. I do feel it has a lot of potential, but I don't think it's gonna happen soon. I think it's gonna take some time. Blue eyes. Yeah, I've got blue eyes, but you know what? I don't know how I have blue eyes. My parents do not, you know? So maybe I was switched at the hospital or something. I don't know. Shout out to Badger. Had a DNA test and found out you were exactly what you were. That's awesome, man. Splash says, sounds like a lift in the gym, a Brazilian butt lift. Yeah. Yeah, Brazilian butt lifts really focus on the gluteus medius and all that kind of stuff. I'm a white American. According to Elon, I'm going extinct. That's so funny to hear stuff like that. I think, is it like that in other countries where people like identify as like a color instead of like a nationality? Like, it's so funny to me. Like, are you black? It's like they ask on these stupid. I remember in school they'd ask, "What's your ethnicity? Black? White?" They like list two colors, and then it's like, you know, Hispanic, Asian. You know, it's like, what the heck, man? Only in America do we identify with a color, when literally, if you're black or white, you could be from so many different countries. But only in America, where we have this this very strange identity politics. They lump people into these groups based on color. It's not even based on your ethnicity. It's based on color. They think we're absolute idiots, but sadly, a lot of people fall for this crap. This divide and conquer crap. You know what I'm saying? I have blue eyes because of too many blue candles. Yeah, you know, honestly, like, that's why I have one blue and one purple eye. It's from the, it's from looking at too many candles. Elon says abolish the EU. Interesting. Yeah, Trump is black. You're a black lesbian too. I am too. I am too. Yeah. Everyone in your family has blue hair. That's cool. Wait, what? Yeah, we're all tied together for sure. Yeah, heterochromia. I don't actually have heterochromia, but my thumbnails do. Jason Casper in his thumbnails definitely has that condition. Let's check out Jason Casper's thumbnail from today. Look at that. One purple eye, one blue eye. One purple eye, one blue eye. Do I ever think I'm on the treadmill when I'm not? No. I've never thought I was on the treadmill when I wasn't. Shout out to J-Boy. I said it was bearish. God bless you, bro. Can I explain the long I'm in? Sure, I can explain the long trade. So, basically what happened was... Oh, wow, we're still pumping. Let's see what happens. I feel like we got to get a little bit of resistance from here. This long trade here was from A. I thought we hit the golden pocket. Maybe we did. It's up for debate. But apparently, I thought we came to the golden pocket, which was this. 87,764. After taking out Friday's low. And so basically we had what's known as a chickens drinking water pattern. All right. The price, it comes down to a level of liquidity. Ideally, you have some kind of actual level of support below. So in this case, it was the Fibonacci 618 level. All right. And the price acts like a chicken drinking water. All right. If you've ever seen a chicken drink water, what they do is they take their beak. Let's take a look. Chickens drinking water. All right. Chickens drinking water. They will take their beak. They will stick it into the water. We got to really watch this, okay? They'll stick it in the water like, watch. Boom. All right. Look at this hen right here. All right. You think she's going to drown. But her beak's in the water, and then boom, she takes it and laps it up. All right, that's how chickens drink water. They dip the beak, nom, 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 nom. All right, that's the pattern we want to see when the price comes down to the water level, right? In this case, the water level was Friday's low, and the chicken sticks the beak in and then nom, 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 starts to lick it up, all right? What we also want to see is bullish divergences. All right, so we want to see as the chicken is drinking water, is the momentum getting higher? Is the money flow getting higher? And if it is, then that's how you got yourself a trade. All right. So that's why I took this trade here, right here. Admittedly, it was a little bit aggressive. Now, again, you got to remember, I was looking at this chart here. I took the trade on WEEX, so the charts are going to be different. On Bybit, we came down to 87,708. On WEEX, we came down to 87,702. I guess it was about the same price. But as soon as I saw we were down here, I just took the trade. I took the trade, and it was one of the trades where it's the kind of trade where you're either immediately in profit or you close the trade, right? That's the mentality you need to have with these types of trades on a Sunday when you're bouncing from a key level. Now, the take profit, the major target was here, all right? The major target was at the top of the range, but the 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio is coming back to around the area where we have the high volume node of the range, right? So technically, the initial scalp idea is this, right? You got your stop, about a 0.4% stop, your target one at the POC, and you can see pretty much we come straight there at first. Like if we go to the 15-minute chart, yeah, we get a big move up. There's really no time for the trade to even be in the red. Big move up, consolidate, big move up, boom, hit take profit 1, and then hit take profit 2, and then now we're chilling. We're at the Fibonacci golden pocket. I've taken the profit, and now I want we're gonna see now what happens. You know, we're gonna see now what happens. Take a little wine for your stomach, says St. Paul. He did say that. J-Boy Bearish says it's a bearish diverge. Oh no, J-Boy Bearish didn't say that. Michael Jason says, looks like a bearish div forming on Casper's eyes in the thumbnail. I'm going all in on a short. Well, this is a great place for TP on a long and or a short. All right. Your belly needs protein. Protein's good. Can I check out the bear div on ETH on the 1 hour? Yeah. Let's check it out. Let's check out ETH on the Uno hour here. Yeah, we do have bear div on the ETH on the 1 hour. We might have it on Bitcoin too, but ETH, we got some potential bear div forming on ETH, yeah, for sure. I'd say there's a lot still room of upside on this momentum wave that could happen. But yeah, if we're coming back into the range, yeah, that could get bearish. We do have a CME gap, remember guys, for Bitcoin, and that would take ETH down along with it as well. It is a shady kind of Sunday pump. Yeah. Flat open interest, you know, we've seen a lot of longs close profit, a lot of shorts taken out. We're at the golden pocket. This move does not look like it has a lot of juice. The upside, in my estimation, however, because it's a weekend, like anything could happen here. Like really, anything could happen here right now. I'd say as we come up to this box, I usually the first tap of the 618 is not it. Maybe we come up to the box a little bit more. Let's check out the high volume node from this area. Yeah, that 786 at 92.8 would be really nice. But that's going to be another, let's see what percent that would be from where we're at right now. 1.75%. Could happen. Let's see what happens on the daily open, the weekly open. You know, can I wrap? I don't know. Someone would need to send me a good beat that makes me feel something. Will there be any more sales on the VIP courses? I don't think so. I don't know. There might be. There could be. I haven't determined yet. What do I think about the end of the weekend trap era with CME offering 24/7 markets? I do think that Sunday pumps are fickle. I do think the CME gap below us will probably get filled. That's going to be coming in at around, I think, 89.4. So I would not be surprised to see it move back down at least to here when we get the daily open, right? I also wouldn't be surprised if we get a daily open and we form a little range here, take the highs of the range, come back down, and then do this, and then either bounce or boom. Bounce or boom. What's my opinion on Santa? Santa Claus? Well, I hope I've been good this year. I hope I don't get cold this year, you know? That would ruin my whole year. You rap and you're thinking about doing crypto instead? Boomerang instrumental? Is it going to get me copyright hit? Who cares? Who cares? Let's be honest. I don't make any money on this channel anyway. It's not good for the algo, though, to get copyright hit. But let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely going to get me copyright hit. Look at this guy. He looks pissed. He's pissed that I'm using his song. I have to see if this makes me feel something, though. It may or may not. So far, I'm not feeling anything. Hey yo, J Casper, they ask me, am I feeling it? Next thing I hit the gas and I'm squealing it. Pull out of the parking lot, don't you know I'm feeling this beat? On the treadmill on my feet, looking around for someone new to meet. As the Bears and the Bulls about to beat down the price, looking for something real nice. Jay Casper, we're trading in the house, looking here for the Bitcoin bounce. Oh baby, I gotta take a peek and see if Market Cypher B has any uneven butt cheeks. Big on the left, nice and juice, skinny on the right to round out the boot. And baby, I don't even know if you can spot it, but we about to get a bounce right from the golden pocket bone. Then we rock it, tippy top it, don't drop it, cause the market maker's coming in, the key and the locket just to spot it. You know we never about to drop it to the top. Jason Casper comes in like Robotnik. He's the bad guy and Sonic the Hedgehog, cutting down the trees, lighting fires with these logs. Go to the toilet, sit down and push. 1 log, 2 log, let me hear you squish. Oh Jay, man, that was kinda gross. Sit back, relax, I'll tell you what I love the
this
most.
This is the bad time. Boomerang, bring it all back. Flashback, live and prosper. Ebola get fat. I was popular to the masses.
What?
I missed the E classes, rocking game of death classes.
What?
Rock bottom strucking through my world off his axis.
What?
Boomerang, plan to come back like God's wrath. Storm like the red coast, do anything on my path. Girls are shining like Sterling, then you broke like brick and burn.
What? Yeah, Jake Casper back at the mic. Sit down, I'ma tell you what I really like. Cause we had the hook, now I'm about to drop a verse. Sit back, you know I never even rehearsed. Coming off the dome, you know I got the crypto flow. Next thing you know, from the treadmill, I'll be back home. Get in the car, hit the gas, going so fast. To resistance, you know the price about to blast. Next thing we gotta stop, fill it up with gas. Don't fall and break your arm, cause you'll need a cast. Yeah, speaking of the cast, we got the TV show. Blue candles turning purple, baby, look out below. Bitcoin about to do it best. And then we see what she's gonna do next. I'm in the gym, only training arms and chest. Cause don't you know that is best? Yeah, cause you know I'm a criminal. We got the messages, they're so dang subliminal. Next thing you know, we're up and on the hill, you know. Cause we put it in our tongue like sublingual. Vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. Let me show you what I eat just between you and me. The bears I eat for lunch, you know we only brunch. Just a nice thought, baby, it is just a hunch. Cause you know eat the real.
Boomerang, bring it all back. Flashback, live and prosper. Ebola get fat. I was popular to the masses. I missed the E classes, rocking game of death classes. Rock bottom strucking through my world off his axis. Boomerang, plan to come back like God's wrath. Storm like the red coast, do anything on my path. Girls are shining like Sterling, then you broke like brick and Berlin.
Alright. We gotta shout the super chat. M. Huncho burning instrumental. Okay, let's check it out. It has to make me feel something though. Will this make me feel something? It doesn't give me that feel in my soul. You know what I'm saying? Guys, by the way, the egg code for this this live stream is rhubarb. Rhubarb, which is, I'll put it in the chat one more time. If you want to get some eggs in the Discord, they're redeemable for cash prizes and all that kind of stuff. And also, guys, if you want to trade, trading on ZOOMEX, BLOFIN, WEEX, and KCEX, lowest deal on fees. And also, if you want to join the Casper crew, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. We still got some Black Friday deals going on. About to post this in the chat. Traders have no feelings. Look up 2000s NYC underground beats. Yeah, maybe I'll have to. Maybe I will have to. Well, now the thing is, now this video is definitely going to get a copyright hit. I could technically do anything I want. I could listen to anything I want. Actually, that's not true. Sometimes you play a video, they actually take your video down. It depends on how what's that guy from Metallica? Lars. Depends on how Lars the other person is on the other end. Major shout out to Atticus Rex. He says, "You're so talented, my brother in Christ." Well, praise God for everything. Praise the Lord for everything He's given me. I have to disagree. I don't think I'm very talented, but I do have to say this. It is fun to be able to technically, professionally, be a cringy, middle-aged white guy rapper. All right, that is quite fun. But God bless you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Did I make my own songs in a metal band? Oh yeah, of course. Of course I made my own songs in the metal band. I did not deal with the lyrics. But I did deal with the music. And I do have on my my other YouTube channel, which some people might know about, right? Some people might know about this one. The Jason Casper VIP Discord channel does have some instrumentals that I recorded. These are some hidden gems. These 3 tracks, you know. I need some. Well, I actually did have a friend helping me do vocals on these, but the last time we were in the studio together was 2017. 2017, you know. So yeah, but these tracks were probably, yeah, these are pretty much all going to be, these were going to be actually real songs that would probably have been recorded in a real studio at some point, but they never ended up there. But one of them is, I used to sing it here actually, Pump Bitcoin Straight to 100K. That was this song. I'm sure some people remember that. We're going to pump Bitcoin straight to 100K. Let me see a blue candle. Then this song has some good pictures in it. All right. If you want to see some good pictures of Jason Casper back in the day, combined with some upside down uneven butt cheeks, Master of the Uneven Butt Cheeks, featured on Around the Blockchain, Dr. Fauci, myself posing in front of a tractor, Da Vinci on a box of Depends, me and Carl from the Moon meeting each other for the first time at the county fair. This was a great moment in my life. What else? That time I ended up on the bathroom floor with the sock on my head. And then this picture of me after I graduated from college with my degree in trans non-carbon binary emission gender studies. I did put on a freshman 15 and a little bit more that year. But I think the eyeshadow really kind of like offsets the face fat, if you know what I mean. So, you know, don't you know? I don't have a music channel. This is not a music channel. This is a channel that I used for VIP videos, and the only videos I actually have on here are a few random Bitcoin updates that I posted on the wrong channel or made public by accident, and these 3 songs. And I have secret. Oh man, I have a whole Hebrew class that I'm teaching here too, but that's private. No one will ever see that. Isn't that sad? No one will ever learn biblical Hebrew unless you're part of the secret club. Back when Jason was white. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Faux show. Faux show, faux show. Yeah, I'm saving up for studio time, man. I haven't been in the studio since 2017. You know what's funny? 2017, that was the year before I bought my farm out here in the country. And I actually threw away my studio because it was covered in mold. Like all my studio monitors, like my MIDI controllers, all my interfaces, all that stuff. The old apartment I was living in, the upstairs radiator burst and it leaked and everything got wet. And I didn't even realize that until I moved to the new place. And when I went to get the stuff, it was all covered in black mold and all water damage. I had to throw everything away. So I don't even have equipment right now to record. Was I that guy on the cheerleading team in high school that usually had all the chicks or helped them with makeup? Oh, was I the one that had all the chicks or helped with makeup? I was not a cheerleader. I was not a male cheerleader. But yeah, I always used to wonder that too, about the male cheerleaders. They're either really smart or really gay. It's hard to tell which one. It's hard to tell. But nah, I was not a cheerleader. Yeah, mold really sucks. And I do think, honestly, that mold in the house did affect my health down the road. Yeah, mold is no joke. Mold really is no joke, man. You don't want to joke about mold. You don't want to joke about mold. Let me tell you. But you know what? We got some quietness here. We need some music back in here. You know, here we go. There we go. You got to know the secret handshake. Oh, I see. There's a secret handshake if you're a guy cheerleader to know which one you are. What age did I realize I like girls? I do remember. I actually do remember this. Man, I was in 6th grade, so I was about 12, I think. I was about 12. That was the first time I realized I was attracted to girls. It was around 12. That's funny you asked that question. Yeah, I remember when I realized that. Mold is gay? Okay. Market cipher on ADA on the daily and weekly. You're in all cash. I mean, so here's the thing about ADA on the daily and weekly. It looks super dang bullish, man. You're in all cash. It looks bullish, but I do feel like we're heading into a bearish season. But again, like, here's the thing. Am I bearish on Cardano? I'm not. I'm not bearish on Cardano. And assuming Cardano, let's assume Cardano goes to like literally, let's say Cardano goes to 0, okay? Let's say Cardano literally does go to 0. All right. Assuming eventually we get to a $5 Cardano, it's still 10 times more upside and downside, even if we go to 0. I mean, you put $100 on here, you know, you're gonna make 1,000 or lose 100. Like, you put $1 on here, you know, you're gonna make 10 or lose 1. Assuming it literally goes to 0, I mean, just looking at the chart alone, like, if you're bullish on this thing fundamentally, it doesn't look bad to me, right? Now, if you're all in cash, I mean, I'm never a big fan of investing everything in altcoins, right? This is what it would look like on log scale with that stop loss at literally 0. But if we don't lose the low from 2022, then it's a 16-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And assuming we hit an all-time high, right, and we don't lose the low from 2022, it's still a 10-to-1 risk reward. So I'm not going to say it's a bad time to get Cardano. The thing is, are we going to see immediate gains in 2026? My feeling is that we're not going to see it until the end of 2026. It's probably when we're going to start to see things pump. But if you're bullish on it fundamentally, I don't think there's any reason why it's bad to get some Cardano here at 40 cents. I mean, could we come back down to 20 cents? I mean, we could. I mean, we literally saw a wick down to 28 cents. But, you know, overall, this thing does look bullish. And if we compare it to the ADA Bitcoin chart as well, I mean, you know, again, not financial advice in any way, shape, or form, but it looks like Cardano is set to really outperform Bitcoin on the weekly. We have bullish divergences. On the monthly, we have bullish divergences forming. So at the very least, we could say that even if we're not going to see a big bull market, it does look like it's set to outperform Bitcoin by quite a bit within the next few months. I mean, even the last time we had a bull div on Cardano on the weekly, it outperformed Bitcoin by 200%. The time after that, we had another, we didn't have a bull div, we had a trigger wave, but it outperformed Bitcoin by 70%. And now we're about to confirm another bullish divergence, which means probably like, if that first bull, it outperformed by 200%. I mean, now, if that happens again, we're coming back up towards the top of this local range here. And again, this is bullish market structure. It's not bullish market structure. It's bearish market structure. But the fact that we are forming like a pretty clearly defined, I would say, like high and low right here, right? This taking of the lows and coming back in, this could be like, you know, the inverted head and shoulder starting. I'm not saying it's gonna, but if we're bullish fundamentally on Cardano, it's not a bad place to buy it on spot. You know, it's really not. Like the DCA type of people, I mean, this, we've had, you know, we're back down towards support. Just put it that way. BDTS, back down towards support. Crypto Crow been dumping on you guys. Nah, I think Crypto Crow's legit, honestly. You knew you liked girls in kindergarten? Yeah, I did not like girls at all in kindergarten. Like, I did not like girls at all until I was probably like 12. When did I realize I was trans, non-carbon, binary, emission, gender? Not until college, really. Not until college. You know, once I realized like all of society were just like social constructs created just to like benefit white men, that's when I became trans, non-carbon, binary, emission, gendered. And once I realized that all carbon was bad, and that's also when I became trans, non-carbon, binary, emission, genders. Crypto clown world. That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, though. That's not good for a 7-year-old kid. That's not good for any year-old, honestly. You're waiting for lower prices because your favorite influenzas said so. That's funny. Yeah, Cardano has done nothing, right? That's why I say if you are bullish on it fundamentally, then I'd say, you know, it's not a bad place to buy. I have Cardano that I have not sold, and I've been holding it for a long time, man. I have been waiting for a $5 Cardano for a long time. It's never happened, so I'm personally not buying or selling it at this moment. Carbon is life. Oh, no, carbon's bad, man. It's real bad, like, you know. It's real bad. Yeah, it was a downward spiral when I was graduating with my degree in trans, non-carbon, binary, emission, gender intersectionality studies, because, you know, it was an inner battle of hating carbon, but knowing I was made of carbon, and then obviously the fake vegan meat didn't help with my physique. It gave me lots of body fat and lots of gas, and every time I would flatulate, I would loathe myself for letting more carbon into the air, and I would go through these horrible self-destructive cycles of farting and binging on Beyond Burgers, farting and binging and farting and binging, and until the whole room was full of carbon and fake meat, and then the fake meat factories were putting more carbon into the atmosphere, and I was not in a good place. All right, couldn't get a job with my degree, $500,000 in debt, and trust me, Beyond Burgers, they're not cheap. And yeah, it was really tough. It was really tough. That's actually how I got into trading, right? Couldn't get a job. I knew a lot about intersectionality, and I realized, look, if the price is coming down to this area where there's lots of intersectionality, like a golden pocket at the bottom of the range with Friday's low, I would be able to get an opportunity to get into a long trade there. So that's kind of what led me down the path of detransitioning from trans non-carbon binary emission back to what you see here. It was a vicious cycle, yeah. It was a real vicious cycle. Do I eat meat? So, to be honest with you, I do eat meat. So I have tried the vegan thing in my life a few times. And I do like the idea of being vegan, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the idea of being vegan. I just haven't been able to feel good being vegan. So, yeah, but if I was vegan, I definitely would not eat fake meat. If I was vegan, I would eat whole foods. I would eat whole foods. I would eat... The only things I would supplement would be like B12 and omega-3. But through whole food supplements, right? Not through like fake stuff. But yeah, I do eat a very whole food diet. So I would even consider myself eating a majority of my food comes from plants. The majority of my calories per day comes from plants. Which I think is healthy. I definitely don't buy the whole carnivore being good for you thing. I definitely do not buy that. But I also think like diet is very based on your genetics and your own personal place in life. Like obviously, if you're fat and you're sick, probably going carnivore might help you a lot. Like it might help you a lot because you're basically going to be cutting out all the crap that's keeping you fat and sick, right? And you're not going to get fat and sick in the short term eating protein and fat. You're just not. But long term, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think it's healthy for you to constantly keep your body in the mode that's the backup mode, right? Ketosis is, you're not created to run in ketosis. You're created to run off glucose. So if you're in ketosis, you're telling your body there's something wrong. There's no carbs. There's a famine. There's a famine. And ironically, I've tried the carnivore thing too. I've tried the keto thing. I've tried the carnivore thing as well. And they both make me feel like crap. Honestly, I felt more like crap as a carnivore than as a vegan because as a carnivore, I got really like depressed, like lethargic, depressed. I lost all hope for life, really. As a vegan, the things that happened to me were more so chronic joint pain, very low recovery, loss of strength. And it's not from lack of protein because I kept my macros the exact same because I'm one of those neurotic people that counts my macros like in Chronometer and MyFitnessPal and like I know exactly what I'm eating. So I don't know what it was, but I tried to be vegan twice in my life for a number of months. So it's not like I did this for like 3 days and said forget it. I did this for months, 4 to 6 months, and both times I had some issues. What do I think are the chances of low-key bottom being all the way in? You know, I think there is a chance. Like, there's obviously a chance. AZTV. I think there's always a chance. Am I taking a short right now? I'm not going to take a short right now, no. No, not right now. Maybe in a little bit. Maybe if we make another high. There's always a chance. But here's the thing. I would be more inclined to believe that if the bottom is low-key in, it's still going to result in a bull trap. Because I'm still looking at this as our range. And so I don't think based on the 2-month we can really break out of this range anymore. I think we tried to break out of the range here and we couldn't do it. I think if we come up again and take that high again, I think it's going to result in this. I do. I think it's gonna, because it would just be too bearish. Like it would just be too bearish, really. Another high right now would be really bearish looking. What would be not bearish looking is if we actually had more of a pullback. That would allow like these high timeframes to reset for Bitcoin at least, and then give us like a healthy push to the upside, right? Like I want to see at least us take these lows here, man. You know, at least let us get like some kind of thing where we've got some kind of like bottom signal on the market cipher. Like, you know, even if the money flow just does this, you know, and we can start like a new cycle again on the oscillator. But yeah, that's my view of it. I could be wrong, obviously. I hope I'm not wrong. I really hope I'm not wrong. I really want to be buying Bitcoin at lower prices. If we have a bear market this year, it's going to be a massive opportunity. It's going to be a massive opportunity. Yeah, I know a lot of healthy vegans, and I know a lot of unhealthy vegans. I think really it mostly comes down to, like, are you eating crap or are you eating like whole food, you know? But I definitely like the idea of being a vegan. But then the more I think about it, the more I think like it's not even like feasible for me, considering I grow my own food. Like, you know, I eat so many eggs because I own chickens, and I eat a lot of chicken because I own chickens, and you know, I want to get goats for their milk and for their meat, and it's like, you know, if I was living off the land without a grocery store, there's no way I could be vegan. I mean, there's really no way I could. It's not sustainable to be vegan. You know, I mean, you want to grow your own beans, and I do grow plenty of beans, don't get me wrong. But the amount of beans you need to grow, and potatoes, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of work too. It's a lot more work to grow beans and get your protein from beans and pumpkin seeds than it is to go out there every morning with a basket and get 20 eggs. Let me tell you. What do I grow in the garden? I am primarily growing, so my main crops are potatoes, beans, and squash are my three main crops. Potatoes, beans, and squash are my three main crops, which I eat every single day. I eat those things every day, pretty much no matter what. Other things I've grown in less quantities is oats, corn. I've never grown wheat. Oats and corn, you know, and then a whole bunch of garden vegetables and stuff like that. And other root vegetables like parsnips and carrots and red beets and stuff. But primarily, the squash, the beans, and the potatoes, honestly, I mean, I believe that, like, if you have potatoes, beans, squash, and chickens, those four things, you could survive and thrive off of those four things. I mean, potatoes, beans, squash, right there, those three things are going to give you all three macronutrients if you eat the seeds from your squash. It's going to give you protein and fat in the seeds, and the beans will give you protein. If you add eggs and chickens on top of that, now you're getting like really good protein and fat in there as well. Oh yeah, I got tons of fruit trees as well. Yeah, apples, pears, berries, all that stuff. How do you know it's the right amount of chickens to keep? Well, you could do the math and think to yourself, you know, if we're a family of, well, I have a family of 5, right? So if you say to yourself, we need 2 chickens a week to have meat, then you would just say, all right, that's about 100 chickens. It's about 100 chickens. You know, that's how you do it. You know, and of course with the chickens, you're always, you know, you always got the bone broth going, the chicken bone broth, and you can get a lot of bone broth from your chicken's bones. And, you know, chicken soup can make it go a long way. But yeah, that's how you kind of got to do it if you're planning to eat your chickens. And then you have to figure out how you're gonna, when you're gonna, and how you're gonna slaughter them. So if you don't have enough like freezer space to keep 100 chickens, you gotta do it in phases. You know, maybe do like 20 at a time and put them in the freezer. You know. Thoughts on almonds? I actually am a fan of almonds because I like them. I like them. They don't give me any digestive issues. They don't give me any problems. I think they have a very good fat profile. Lots of monounsaturated fat. Very low in polyunsaturated fat. I think as far as a plant-based fat goes, almonds are one of my favorites, actually. Almond butter, I like. I also like peanuts and peanut butter. I know people think peanuts are bad because of the mold. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. All right. You started the silverback diet? I don't know what a silverback is. I'm too dumb, but it looks good because, oh, it's a monkey that can bench more than 4,000 pounds. Every bred has a different average of eggs per year. Oh, if your breed of chicken. Yeah, so I usually go with, I used to be into like the heritage breeds, like when I first started doing this. Like, I remember me and my wife sat down, we got this book about chickens. We're thinking, like, what breed of chicken do we want? We're, like, reading, like, these ones are friendly and they're good with kids, and these ones, they stay to themselves, and this and that. And we're, like, we're overthinking it, right? What kind of chickens do we want? Nowadays, I'll be honest with you guys, I get the soulless red rocket from the hatchery chickens that lay 1 egg a day, no matter what, and then I breed those myself. So all the baby chicks we have here are some weird hybrid chicken from some random roosters that we get from other local farms around the area. Like, all our roosters we've had in the past, I've gotten from people. I've either hatched myself or I've gotten from people that needed to get rid of a rooster. So I have no idea what breed I even have anymore, but they lay eggs. And that's really all that counts with your chickens. Oat milk is greater than almond milk. I don't know. I do have a problem with oats. Like oatmeal, if it's not sprouted, steel cut oatmeal, it gives me a lot of gas, man. I'll be honest. Speaking of farts, I would never drink oat milk. I feel like I'd be drinking fart juice. Do I like hummus? Bro, I love hummus. I love hummus. In fact, there's a funny story about hummus in the Casper household, which is, first of all, I love hummus. I love it so much. There was a place called Mamoun's Falafel that I used to go to all the time in a location in New Jersey, and they would be open late, and I would go there all the time for some hummus, some hummus. But yeah, my wife makes a good hummus. She makes a real good hummus. I love hummus. I love it. My favorite way to eat hummus, this is unconventional. I make a whole bunch of quinoa, and I put the hummus on top of the quinoa with some olive oil, and I chop up dates real small, and I put the dates on top of that, and that's how I like to eat the hummus. Yeah, man, I love me some hummus. What steel cut oats? I don't even know. When I grew my own oatmeal, I just had the whole oat groats, and I just cooked oat groats. But steel cut oats looks to be just like oats that are cut, like the oat groats that are just chopped up. I don't know. Cow milk is disgusting. I actually prefer cow milk to goat milk, but if I ever produce my own milk, I would definitely have to go with the goat milk, because I don't want to raise cows. They're too big. It's too much. Were the moon landings real? Well, according to Google and all AI, yeah, of course they were real. I mean, how could you even question? And all the conspiracies out there that question the moon landings have all been thoroughly debunked, according to Google and AI. So how could you even question whether or not the moon landings were real? You know? How could you even question it? I mean, why would they be fake? I mean, why would they fake the moon landing after a decade and a half of failing and not being able to do it, and then announcing to the whole world that they're going to do it and televise it? What incentive would they have to fake it, though? You know? I mean, and really, what could go wrong? And we know that, you know, back in the 60s, they had this like 250,000 mile Wi-Fi connection with very little delay. And, you know, back in those days, they had that high-tech NASA camera crew get on the moon first to film the landing and all this. Yeah, there's no way they could have faked that. You know, there's no way. I don't think so. No incentive to do. And obviously, it's clear they didn't fake it, because nowadays, we go to the moon all the time. You know? They've even got McDonald's on the moon now. And if you're rich, you can take a trip to the moon in a rocket and eat from the McDonald's up there. Yeah, it's totally real. Yeah, falafel. Man, I love me some falafel too. The problem with falafel and the problem with that kind of food in general is it's so easy to overeat that stuff, man. Did I ever invest in or hold Casper? No, I didn't. Yeah, the Russians would have been highly incentivized. You know what's interesting? I had a client back in the day. My dad actually has a client who did work on the lunar rover, and he thinks they faked it. He's like, they faked it. It was totally fake, and the Russians knew. And the Russians knew. If it was faked, the Russians did know. All right. So that should tell you a lot about geopolitics in general. You know, the whole world's a stage, guys. The whole world's a stage. You know, the whole world's a stage. Moonshine stays on the moon and says there's no flag there. Well, there you go. Must be fake then. Moonshine's always on the moon and there's no flag. We got a lot of moon landing deniers and moon landing believers in the house, baby. Let me know in the chat. What's the risk to reward on the VIP trades? There's no risk to reward on the VIP trades. They're not like that. They're not like that. I'm never gonna tell you where to put your stop loss. That's up to you. Put me in the chat right now. Let me know. Are you a moon landing believer or denier? A believer or a denier? Both words carry negative connotations, so don't be embarrassed to be a believer or a denier. Falafel is so good in a pita bread. Yeah, this is what's up. AZTV. This is yeah. Get us some falafel and pita bread with some lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, beets, the red onions, and the tzatziki sauce. I love that. That's exactly what I used to get at Mamoon's Falafel. But I would get the falafel sandwich and dip it in the hummus. You know, I would dip it in the hummus. All right, we got deniers. We got deniers. We got a believer, a denier. Will I move to Mars in the future? There's no moon in Libya. All right, so Coding Crypto Fitness says, I don't care if we did or didn't, doesn't impact my life in the slightest. That's true. That is pretty true. Yeah, I should make a poll. I should make a poll. All right, Al Jr. says, I'm high as the moon, so I don't know what to believe right now. Man, let's take a poll. I do feel like, not that I condone the use of cannabis, but if I was using cannabis, I feel like, well, I used to be quite an avid cannabis user, right? So that's the kind of stuff I would think about, right? Let's see here. Moon landing. In 1969. Real or fake? Let's see. Let's see. Real or fake moon landing? Let's check it out here. So Pelagic says, if you don't think the race to space and the moon doesn't affect your modern way of life, you're a fool. How does it affect modern life? I mean, if it's real, it affects modern life allegedly because of technology. If it's fake, I guess you could say it affects modern life because you're paying taxes and some of that money goes to NASA and who knows what the heck they're using it for or what they're doing with it if like everything they do is fake. Is that like the things that affect the life? I mean, as I get older, I realize I become more apathetic, I'll be honest with you. I become way more apathetic about things. like politics and conspiracies and all this. I don't have the energy to care anymore. I got a family to take care of. I got responsibilities. I got relationships. You know, I got a business. I gotta do what the Lord's called me to do. And he hasn't called me to any of those things. So I guess for some people, maybe the Lord has called them to get into politics, get into different things, conspiracy theories or whatever. But, all right, most people think the moon landing is fake. That's cool. You're bored of the Bitcoin price action? Most people think it's fake. All right. Psalm 19:1, denied. You cannot get outside the Van Allen radiation belt. Well, speaking of belief, Moonshine. Speaking of belief, if you don't know it's there, apparently there's no problem with that. All right. If they faked it, what else did they fake? Yeah, right. Look, they is a crazy guy. All right, like I said before, I had a conversation with They the other day. He knows everything. He's in on everything. He knows what the Bitcoin price is going to do next. They is the market maker. They is the shadow government. You know, the moon is fake. I've come across this. There was a, oh man, what was the name of that YouTube channel back in like 2014? If anyone's into like conspiracy YouTube back in like 2012 to 2015, those were the days, all right? Oh, what was the name of this channel? He would videotape the moon and he would watch like this like ripple come across the moon. He called it the lunar wave or something. I don't know. But his whole idea was that the moon was like a hologram or something. You know? Most traders are right-wing Bible-thumping conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of us around here, man. I am myself a Bible thumper. They faked it to make you believe the Earth is a spinning ball, a spinning, twirling water ball, and if you believe that, they can instill all kinds of fear. All right. Yeah, I've heard it before. I've heard that one before. They faked the moon landing so we would think the Earth is a spinning, twirling water ball. I've heard it. What would you need or want to live on the moon? Yeah, who the heck would want to live on the moon? You know? Remember when the president used the phone to call the moon? Man, we need Trump to call the moon and say, hey, bro, when you're going to take Bitcoin up there? But yeah, I remember that. They called the moon with their 250,000 mile Wi-Fi. How often do I do these streams? Well, I do these streams quite often, pretty much 6 times a week. The moon is a reflection, says this person. Is the moon a reflection of what? What is the moon a reflection of? Daily compilations. What's the moon a reflection of? Did I see when Obama had the moon bombed? No, but my wife showed me this video of something happening on the moon, and it looked like the fakest thing I ever saw in my life. It was like a SpaceX video. Vegas Claw says, the Earth is as flat as my ex. I'm not going to read the rest. Okay. The Bible talks about the firmament. The Bible does talk about the firmament. Yeah, the Bible talks about the firmament. You can sleep all day on the moon because it's night all the time. It's night all the time on the moon. The moon is the reflection of the Earth. You can't go flat Earth, man. Yeah, like the Truman Show, nah. If there's a matrix, we are in it. Our flesh and an organic thing, not mechanical. A spiritual journey of energy. Space exists. Yeah, some people say space doesn't exist. Some people say space exists. Every time you watch me, you buy Cardano. Yeah, Crow 777. Thank you, Blue Green 8371. Is Crow 777 still a YouTube channel? Let's see. Is Crow 777 still a YouTube channel? They're live right now. Wow. Wow. Man, we all need a little bit more of this kind of stuff, man. Look at these thumbnails, bro. Now, if this stuff doesn't make your conspiracy-minded dopamine cycle want to click, I don't know what will, honestly. I do not know what will. Wow. Live right now. Crow 777. Pop on in, say Jason Casper sent me here. Crow 777. Crow 777, 207,000 subscribers. That's what's up. You know? Is this the same channel? I think it is. I think it has to be. Let's see. Let's go to the popular videos. Yeah, here you go. Yeah. The lunar wave or whatever. Yeah, look. Yeah. That's it right there. This thing going across the moon. Bitcoin's trying to hold this level here. Carl's on the moon, yeah, for sure. Trump is a P word. I mean, wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Did you miss the egg code, Red Elephant? No, man. The egg code is rhubarb. Here, I'll pop it in the chat, all right? Let's see, Crow 777. I would give a super chat, but I'm not gonna, because I don't want to show any of my private details here. Have I watched the Waters Above crypto channel? I have, but I haven't really been able to get into it. Because it's hard to get into, I think, unless you're already an avid watcher. Which one would I believe existed before, dinosaurs or dragons? I guess both, right? I mean, aren't they kind of the same thing? 126 is a cycle top. We are trading at the bottom. Good time to buy. I mean, if that's the cycle top and this is a cycle bottom, this is a crazy cycle right now. This is a crazy cycle. You know, look, this hidden bull div has the potential to be something big here. I'm not going to deny that, but I still would think it's going to end up kind of more bearish than bullish. Even in the event of a big pumperoni and cheese. Even in the event of a big old pumperoni and queso. Eric says, y'all crazy, guys. You're looking for a way to send the mother-in-law to the moon? Any ideas? I can't help you there, man. I'm so sorry. Sweep the highs and then dump. That's kind of what I would be. That's kind of what I'd be looking for here, Dread Mining, like for an actual like local short entry. For a local short entry. Yeah, I can't help you with mother-in-law to the moon missions here. Alrighty. Well, guys, you know what? We've devolved into watching Crow 777 live stream. And I think it's time we wrap it up. But God bless y'all. In the name of Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus, the Messiah, I hope everyone has a great Sunday evening. And Lord willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.